Mega is an improvised satire from the staff of a fictional megachurch.
We are here, Lord, we are here, and we're ready to podcast.
Hiya, I'm Halle Levant, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray House.
I'm 6'7", and I'm going to heaven, Halle. How are you?
Oh, you know I am blessed. We're heading into the holiday season. Thanksgiving is coming up. Christmas is coming up. New Year's is coming up. I've been at the Home Goods just basically filling cart after cart after cart with decorations. I'm ready to go all out. I'm in the spirit. I just feel like still the whole autumn into winter time is very fertile ground for Jesus to just really make my heart feel all pumpkin spice latte goodness.
Yeah, Jesus is going to pop off this time of year, isn't he?
Oh,
and I don't think you even noticed.
Jesus loves
Halle,
fall.
I'm 6'7", and I'm going to heaven.
Wait, why are you doing
I'm
your hands?
6'7", Halle.
Why are you doing your hands like the justice? The cups of justice.
Oh no, Halle. Okay, this is cool.
What?
I'm so excited because for maybe the second or third time in my life, from something that I said in Climax, I have started a viral sensation. As you know, I was the first one to say the bomb way back in
That's
the day
right.
because
That's true.
we were love bombing each other, and that was something that I made up. Of course, I said on fleek was something else that I
I
coined.
didn't know that was
Yes,
yours.
On Fleek was
That's
me.
so cool.
And of course, this new thing that I'm saying, 6'7",
While you're doing the justice hands?
yes, is something that I started around Climax, and every teen I know is saying it now, and I'm just so blessed by
I've
it.
saw kids down in the children's ministry doing that. and
Everyone is saying
six-
it. Oh, babies are saying it.
in
Babies are
the
saying it.
infant ministry, babies are saying
And
6'7"?
apparently 6'7" is the word of the year, Halle. And that just goes to show you that when you are really preaching the word, it is going to find its way
Great.
to teens. And I know, I don't like...
Congratulations, you made up the word of the year?
I made up 6'7",
And
yeah.
that's not even a word.
Well, it is to me, Halle, and it is to all my
Wow.
teens. It happened in a really simple way where last month, I guess, I started preaching on Galatians 6:7.
Awesome.
And, you know, my favorite part of that verse is, do not be deceived
Whoa.
because God cannot be mocked. And I just was, you know, kind of laying it down just off the dome like I normally do.
Cool.
And all my kids started going, 6'7", 6'7".
While doing that with their hands?
Well,
at the
I
same
said, this
time?
is from Galatians 6:7, and they started going 6'7", 6'7", and I was going, and I was at first I was a bit like, okay, what does this mean?
Wait.
Because I thought I was being mocked.
Right,
But
because the
then-
verse says, about God being mocked.
Right, and I was like, hey guys, what is this? And they just kept saying it, and I just thought, wow, isn't that cool? And so I started doing it, and I started going 6'7", 6'7", and they loved it. They loved it. You also remember I came up with WAP, which was cool. So
WAP?
yeah, remember?
Oh yeah, that's of course,
was a
of
few
course.
years ago.
WAP was a few summers ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was before
We are
Brat
praying.
Summer.
Hashtag
there was
we are
WAP.
praying.
WAP.
Hashtag we are praying.
WAP. WAP. WAP.
So 6'7", yeah,
Man.
that is Galatians 6:7.
Great.
All the teens are saying it in America now, and that is kind of what I'm laying down when it comes to Climax.
Wow, I just really have to. Wow, I sometimes I feel like we make all these requests to God when we pray. And sometimes in moments like this, I'm reminded that we have to thank him and thank him. Great. Do you know what a big deal it is that you have the word of the year? That's like getting the Pulitzer, or that's like getting, inaugurated as King of England or something. It is a very big deal. An Australian, you might be the first ever Australian to get a word of the year.
Well, I know, Halle, but the sad thing about word of the year is you don't actually get any credit, because a lot of people are saying, well, I don't know where this actually started. I know, my teens know, but it's fine. I don't need credit, except I am telling everyone that I did it.
Wow. I mean, I think the very fact that you got something to be named Word of the Year that technically isn't even a word is amazing.
Yeah, I
and that
know.
might be because you are Australian and you do everything opposite.
Well, thy word is a lamp unto my feet, even if it's a number, isn't it, Halle?
And a light unto my path. Now, speaking of light, we are having one less hour of light per day because we have fallen back. But speaking of Australia, you do things opposite down there. Do you set your clocks forward when we're going back, or what do you do?
That's right. We do set them. We set them forward when you go back. So fall forward.
You fall forward
We
when
fall
we
forward.
fall back, and we spring forward when you
and
spring back.
Spring back.
Oh,
and
a
it's spring, and which is also an animal that is kind of out on the plains there. But it's a bit confusing around Indiana because we have separate time zones for each county, and then on top of that, Twin Hills sets our clocks back an hour before everyone else does 1 week.
Right.
So generally around the Michiana area
Yep.
and a bit south,
Yep.
you're going to get a lot of confusion
Yep.
about what time it is.
And it's many different times.
And why, I don't even know why Steve started doing that. He started doing it a few years ago. He just said, we're going to do it a week early.
Yeah.
And I think it was just to get people to church on time, really.
Yes, of course. And, you know, my son Day has been saying stuff that he's not into the whole time change thing because research shows that it causes car accidents and health problems and that there's no reason to be doing it and it doesn't make sense and stuff. And I'm like, Day, some stuff you just don't mess
Leave
with.
it alone.
You know what I mean? And he's like, but so Mom, you're saying you would rather have 100 people in Indianapolis County die of a heart attack today than not change your clocks? And I'm like, well, look, you're not going to get me into some, you know, Hakeem's razor on this one or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Hakeem's razor.
You know, the classic philosophy question.
And
like,
that's why I'm
would
always
you-
like, is that Hakeem Jeffries? Who's that named after?
I am a fan of changing our clocks because why? Because we've always done it. And there's really, if it's not Baroque, you know what I'm talking about. So any
I heard of a county Hamilton County has never done they're on a completely different clock.
Yeah.
And what it is, it's what they call Indiana forward time. Have you heard of this?
No.
In Hamilton County, they have a clock that they started at some point, I think sometime in the 1800s.
Okay.
And it's just counting forward, hour by hour.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's kind of cool.
What does that mean?
Well, it just means like, hey, I'm going to meet you at, and I think it was something like 58,372.
Okay.
And you know exactly when that's going to be because time marches what? Forward. And so they are just marching forward. So I think that's pretty good because I think that would get people to church on time all the time. If you're going, hey, next weekend we're doing 72,136. The following weekend we're doing 70. You know, it's just the forward motion of time, whatever.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. You're ready to move your business forward, but first, you need to find the right team. Start your search with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It can help you reach qualified candidates fast, ensuring your listing is the first one they see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. See the results for yourself. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Over the last 20 years, L'Oréal Paris has honored 200 women of worth, uplifting their communities. Women who see the worth in every person, overlooked or underserved, who see an opportunity for change, who see a chance for better. They may be one of 200, but their journeys are always uniquely one of one. Here's to 200 more women of worth.
We're worth it.
We're worth it.
We're worth it.
We're worth it.
And that's what I told my son Day. I said, you know what? I think it's cool that we have Eastern time, that we have Central time, that we have Mountain time, that we have Pacific time. Do you want all those times to go away too? Do you want us to say it's any time of day, whether the sun is in the sky or not? This is kind of PST and EST and Mountain T and all that stuff. It's exactly like KGV and NIV. And I know that a lot of Bible-based people have struggled through the millennia fighting over whether or not KJV is the one true translation, or whether it's okay to branch out with things like the NIV or the, STT or the
Somebody
Word
brought a
Bible.
KGB Bible to Climax the other day, and I opened it up, and the whole thing was redacted.
What? You
Just
couldn't read the
No,
verses?
it was just a bunch of black bass.
Oh, no. Well,
But I still think, going back 6'7", I think the word of God shines through.
Whatever gets you to the church on time. Am I right? Because that's what really matters. And whatever time Steve says it is,
That's what time
that's
it is.
what time it is for me. And that's all I need to say. And speaking of like clocks changing at midnight and whatnot, didn't you just have a Climax pray in?
Yeah, we did have a Climax pray in, and I tried to put that on Hamilton County time. I said, hey, guys, show up at 99,361 or whatever it was. Nobody got that, but it was really positive, Halle. Although, and we are improvising right now based on our Supercast supporters' suggestions, which is always great. The questions and queries that they have about their lives and their spiritual lives. And something that I want to point out is that just because it's a pray-in doesn't mean that bad things can't happen, but a lot of times good things can happen from that. And we are here to celebrate because we had a certain listener who is a former Climax teen of mine years ago is having another baby, and I think that's something to celebrate because
it's one less abortion.
Exactly. Of course, the first time he had a baby, that came from a pray-in, and it's really simple when these little slip-ups happen.
Yeah.
You say, hey.
Yeah, the kids are conceiving at the pray-ins.
You've got, well, it happens rarely, but when it does, I say, hey, you've got two choices, adoption or keep it.
And those are both wins. Both of those.
Both wins.
And so was it a good pray-in this year, or did you cancel it because you didn't want any more of, the
slip-ups? Mm-hmm. Well, I've gotten to the point where that doesn't happen a whole lot because it was a simple hack, a simple fix. I said, when we're doing pray-in, nobody closes their eyes. We all stare, keep eyes wide open and staring forward while we're praying.
Yeah.
Because what was happening is when it's all night long, people closing their eyes, I thought they were either, sometimes people fall asleep, or I'm going, everyone's praying. I would have my eyes closed, two people would sneak off. So what we're doing now, sitting in a big circle, everyone eyes wide open. And I said, no eyes wide shut. If you have your eyes wide open, there's no eyes wide shut, if you know what I mean, Halle.
Does it look spooky to have all those people with their eyes peeled open like Clockwork Orange poster like that?
I don't know the reference, but I
don't either. Frankly, I've just seen the poster.
I think it's okay. It's strange that the pray-in happened around Halloween this year because that was a little spooky.
Yeah, that would look like a room full of sort of zombies who were unasleep or unalive or something.
So I didn't love the timing, but I love the prayers.
Yeah.
I love the prayers. And like always, people have to pray out loud. And until you pray out loud, you can't leave.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a success. To modify, to keep the kids from procreating. And I also just want to say as a follow-up to this conversation that it's not just adoption or keep it.
Have it, yeah.
It's also get married.
Oh, yeah.
You're
totally.
getting married.
You're getting married.
You're getting married. Guess what? The minute you unbuttoned that first button...
Well, a lot of them don't wear buttons anymore.
You're getting married.
Yeah.
Okay? Especially if you got to the zipper, or let's say it was a button fly. By the time you got there, honey, you're getting married. Okay? So enjoy that back seat in the forest preserve. Okay? Because guess what? You're now a mom and a dad, and you're married. And also, I realize that I sound kind of like it sounds like a curse, you know, like it's a bad fate. It's an awesome fate, okay? It is God resurrecting your life. It might not have been the original plan. It might not have been what you wanted, but God knows what you needed. And what you needed to do was get married as soon as you knew you were having a baby. Really, you needed to get married way before you got to the button and the zipper. And also, marriage and children are such a gift. They are a gift. It might sound like we're using them to scare you and that this is something, you know, that is almost like a punishment. No. It's actually awesome, and it's actually a blessing.
I just, you know, and I totally agree, Halle. I think sometimes, and here's a little bit of advice if you're about to have a kid or you know, whatever you want to call it, a baby, when you have it. But, you know, I have a lot of advice about things like sleep training because, of course,
really?
and I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before, but my friend Clay
Mason
Bannerman, he's a father, and he had
a grandfather.
And he had to sleep train, you know, his son, Popsicles.
Yes.
And
yes. So you're an expert.
I'm an expert.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I was there every step of the way for that because I was just trying to provide support. But I also had to say at different points, I'm going to a hotel. And sometimes Clay would go to a hotel too, because if you go in every time they're talking, or what's that other thing they do?
Feeding in the middle of the night?
No, it's just like this weird noise they make.
Oh, the babies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cooing, crying.
Oh, it might be that.
Yeah.
So when they're doing that, you can't just go right in. You have to teach them not to do that. So sometimes I would say, Clay, can't do this anymore. I'm heading to a hotel.
What hotel did you frequent?
Oh, sometimes I'm a huge Bonvoy. Well, you know, I'm a Bonvoy Diamond.
Really?
I love a Bonvoy. Love a Bonvoy Marriott.
Hashtag goals.
I love a Bonvoy.
Wow,
Bonvoy
we've all
is the
got
fun one.
bios, Greg.
Bonvoy is the fun Marriott.
Awesome.
The other one's a bit stodgy. Bonvoy, fun.
Cool. And would you get room service? Because I love ordering food to the room. I love it.
never eat
You
past
don't?
8 o'clock. No.
Oh,
But
really?
well, unless I wake up and I'm doing a middle of my sleep cycle training, which sometimes I do. I'll wake up my own sleep cycle to do a shred if it's shredding season, and then sometimes I will have a quick hit of some, you know, powdered protein or something. But no, I've never.
Well, I'm not going to claim expert at all, but having been through many pregnancies, labors, and deliveries, I've picked up a thing or two about labor, delivery, and sleep training, as well as, you know what, how a baby latches on.
What does that mean?
Latching on.
What does that mean? Like grabs you?
Well, yeah, in a way. The nurses come in after you have a baby and they say, we got to get this thing to latch on. It's very important. The female body is making these edible substances at that point that the baby really needs to flush through its system. So they have to latch on. And not all babies do.
Why do you keep saying latch on and winking?
Well, because it's... And I had a condition that does have a name, but I'm not going to bore you with the scientific name of it. But basically what it made my lactation into, instead of what should have been a gentle drip, kind of like if you didn't turn the hose all the way off.
Okay.
But instead what my lactation was doing was it was more like a fire hydrant. And boy, did it almost take my son Day's head off a few times. And he had to learn how to latch on.
Halle?
Which is hard for most babies. But Day had to latch on to a fire hydrant with his mouth. And boy, it was like he had to learn how to then chuck it back.
Who wants to hear about a milk volcano?
That is exactly what it was.
Who wants to hear about a milk volcano?
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
But all I'm saying is I'm no expert.
Of course.
But those early days are important, and you're so sleep deprived. But, you know,
I'm sorry,
the labor...
I just can't get over this. Like, it was just, what, Old Faithful for babies?
Exactly. But it wasn't timed out the way Old Faithful is. It's Old Faithful because you know when that spout off is coming. This could come at any time.
Really?
Yes.
I don't really want to hear about it, but I'm also strangely curious, and I don't know why.
Yeah. And you know what? Day should be a firefighter. And it could happen at any time. You know, it's not like when the drug dealers turn the fire hydrants on in the summertime on street corners so kids can cool off. I'm not an expert about motherhood by any stretch, but I have had a lot of labors, pregnancies, and kids. And the thing about labor is just ask for the shot. Ask for the epidural. Get it in as soon as you can, honey. And no matter what, you don't even have to tell people you did. But get it in ya. Get it in ya. That's first and foremost. And then expect to poop on the table. I'm
What?
sorry,
Hallie,
Gray.
yes,
I'm sorry,
Hallie.
Gray. They have the wipes and it goes fast and it's okay.
Moving on.
But I'm not an expert. But as long as you're ready for a little, a few backdoor surprises in the delivery part, then you're going to be good for the rest of the time. Because basically, the delivery part is a microcosm of what's to come. And what's to come for you is, well, frankly, and you know this probably because of Popsicles, but you got a lot of poopy diapers in your future.
I was at the Bonvoy.
Good for you, racking up the points at the Bonvoy. Anyway, and then sleep training is basically you just have to ignore them so they self-soothe and learn that you're not coming if they cry. So that's all you have to know for sleep training.
Good to know, and I'm sorry we had to probably edit most of that out because it just doesn't seem like listeners would need to know that. You know, something that one of our listeners did bring up, Halle, is this idea of Friendsgiving.
My kids talk about this.
I don't like it.
Really?
I think Thanksgiving should be for families to sit around a table and
whether you like each other
talk
or
about
not.
politics.
And religion.
Yeah. And really, it's a time to extend a hand, or in this case, a turkey leg, and bring someone over to your way of thinking. Now, if you don't have family, then maybe hanging out with your friends seems cute. I don't think it is. And, you know, this year for Thanksgiving, and I'm not sure if I mentioned before, but my friend Clay Mason Bannerman and I are not inviting anybody over for Friendsgiving because it's just not a time for that. It's time for family. You know what I mean? Even though he is my friend.
Here's the thing. God, the ultimate creator of everything in the universe, decided that the best way to be in existence is to be in a family. He had a son.
Exactly.
And
Adam and Eve.
The holidays are for being with family. And oh, they traumatize me. Oh, they've been abusive. You know what? There's going to be turkey and stuffing, and there's going to be pumpkin and apple pie if you're lucky. If you just only have pumpkin pie, what I say is this. Stay around the crust and the edges. I don't know what's in there. I've seen the inside of a pumpkin, and it doesn't look like pumpkin pie. It's a weird texture, but you're going to get through it. And that's exactly the metaphor, the sermon illustration, if you will, that I'm here to say is the holidays are for family.
Yeah. And no one wants to hear a lady preach about it. But I do think, or in general, but I just think you're right in that the holidays are for family and they're not for friends. And why do we always have to put friends on? Why do we have to put friends on everything? And it's on Netflix all the time. And, you know, and I'm dealing with this because I have a neighbor.
Oh, no. Donovan Geo.
And it's just turned into this whole thing, Halle, because currently we're in a battle, aren't we, with the government shutdown. And he said, I'm going to be doing a food pantry all the way through Thanksgiving. And I'm going, okay, first off, we've got a food pantry at Twin Hills. That's awesome.
Great point.
It's open every Wednesday.
Yes.
And you can get all the food you need.
You can get all kinds of fresh food if you consider pantry
and all
products fresh.
Exactly. And if you consider pantry products fresh or anything from the Manor food court, which is what we're eating inside, all of that at the end of the day is going straight down to the food pantry. Isn't that right?
That is right.
And sometimes people go down there and would you believe this, Halle? They'll complain. They'll go, oh, this is lasagna, but it's old and cold and it's been under the heat lights for too long. And you're going, okay. I don't think when Jesus made a fish and loaves to feed the 5,000, they're going, I think this fish is cold. No, because they probably ate it cold anyway, didn't they? Do you think people are complaining when Jesus did that? No, they're not. So this is just to say, don't complain when somebody's giving you food.
Well, I don't think Jesus would have had raw fish. He was cooking it.
Oh, really?
Because otherwise we would have to suggest that Jesus was eating sushi.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
that
right.
would not even be historically accurate.
What did you think it was like? I hope it wasn't fried. I think hopefully it was just nicely done on the grill with a little bit of lemon, just simple, simple. That's how simple but delicious.
Simple. I feel like...
And speaking of keeping it simple, that is the problem that I have with my neighbor, Donovan Geo, is he always has to complicate things where he's going, oh yeah, a lot of people need food right now because they're losing the benefits. And of course, he's out there in his Y-fronts. He's got a full DJ setup. He's got a window by the geodesic dome that he lives in, and he's up there, and his catchphrase right now is "oh snap," and I'm going, what does that even mean? He's trying to do a catchphrase, he's always trying to insert catchphrases into the lexicon, and I'm over there going 6-7 because I actually did it.
And guess what? There's not a catchphrase of the year. It's a word of the year, and you got that?
I did. All right, folks, that's the episode. Many thanks to our Supercast members for those great suggestions. Hey, speaking of Supercast, it's a great time to join. There's a free trial, and that is the best way to make sure that Mega keeps going.
If you'd like to listen ad-free, if you would like behind-the-scenes podcasts, and if you would like Discord access and much, much more, go to mega.supercast.com and become a supporter today. That's mega.supercast.com.
And really, it is the way we keep going, so please consider a Supercast membership. A very special thanks to our founding members. That's Bobby and Betty, Nana and T-Pop, Adrian O, Kristen A, and Anonymous. You know who you are. Thanks.
And as always, I'm Holly Laurent playing Halle Labont, and that over there, that's Greg Hess playing Gray Haas.
See you next time.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. One of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. Mm-hmm. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.